Well, we've had the men's game to warm us up here on Rugby 1, but now we are getting ourselves ready for the real showcase as the women's rugby teams help bring down the curtain on Varsity 2025. Varsity hanging absolutely in the balance right now. The latest score update that I can bring you is Cardiff Met is leading 51-49. They've never won Varsity. Being this close at this stage in the competition is huge for them. Coming back to the rugby, the first teams of these two universities are not quite as well acquainted in the women's game as they are in the men, with Bath women not yet having made it to Bucks Super Rugby alongside Cardiff Met. Speaking of Super Rugby, we can confirm the result from Cardiff Met's semi-final, where they were facing Hartpury away from home, having overcome Edinburgh in the quarter. That one finished Hartpury 12, Cardiff Met 19, which means Cardiff Met's women's team are through to the final that will take place at Rodney Parade in 2 weeks' time. The first time that Hartpury will not be involved in that game. So it is impossible to overstate the significance and the magnitude of that win for Cardiff Met. That was, of course, the first of a double header in the West Country, with Met's men also having made the semi-final, thanks to a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Bath just a week ago. That semi-final is going to kick off at the same time as this varsity match, so we will do our best to keep you updated with the score there, along with the wider varsity scoreline as it evolves. With the first team playing, that means that the Bucks semi-final in their varsity team today, with the Bucks team playing in that semi-final, means the varsity team sees the outcome rest on the shoulders of a number of their second team representatives. Not that that should be too much of an issue, given that their second team enjoyed a 12-game win streak during the season. In terms of some of the superstar names that you might recognise in the lineups today, hooker Chloe Gant and her replacement Molly Crabb turned out for Brython Thunder and Gwalia Lightning respectively, with Chloe Thomas-Bradley, another who played in the Celtic Challenge tournament. But the top-level Welsh representation does not end there. As we move over to the Bath bench, centre Molly Wilkinson will look to make an impact from the bench as the Welsh international continues her return from injury, where she is having her minutes managed. And I know that some of our commentary today may have had a distinctly Met-flavoured feel to it, but it's going to be a little bit more balanced in this one, because I am delighted to be joined by regular Bath captain Becca Lacey.
That's
Becca,
lovely.
Great to have you with us.
Thank you, it's great to be in here.
Tough, though, for you not to get to be out there today. You've obviously played in varsity before, but unfortunately this time you're behind the mic rather than on the pitch.
Thanks for reminding me quite a few times today, but hey-ho. Yeah, it does suck being concussed and then return to play being concussed again. So 2 months out has been hard, but I'm looking forward to it. We've got a great view up here, so I can't complain.
We really do, and look, your loss, Bath's loss, is our gain and the viewers' gain to have you on commentary with us. With Bath not playing in Women's Bucks Super Rugby, this feels to me like it presents a real opportunity for the team to show how good they can be and put out an advert for themselves on the big stage playing against this Cardiff Met side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Being promoted into this new league this year, we've absolutely shone through. Coming fourth in the league is absolutely brilliant. And then just to remind you guys that 2 years ago we beat your Cardiff Met first team, scored a lovely try the first half. So yeah, I'm hoping that will happen again today.
Oh, well, I was actually about to link into that. You say, I like to remind you about not being able to play today. You like to remind me about 2 years ago here at King Coyd with that win. So that was you scoring the try in the first half, was it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you want to just talk us through it, play by play? I'm sure it's come up in the pub and in socials in the years since.
Yeah, of course. It literally came off of a breakdown, went from 9 to 10. 10, don't know why I was on the wing, but I was there, managed to catch the ball. Then whether or not my foot was on the line, we'll never know, but it got awarded the try and happy days.
We will never know, and hey, these marginal calls shouldn't get in the way of a great story and a great outcome. Bath will be looking to replicate that victory. Last year in Bath, it was a big win for Cardiff Met, reported slightly differently from one side to the other. You remember it being Cardiff Met 53, Bath 27?
Yeah.
So I mean that's a fairly substantial margin. I think Bath put it on put it on their social media as 50 points to 26. Either way, a comprehensive victory, and Met will certainly be looking for more of the same. So we are just moments away from this one. I'm sure I don't need to tell you by now that it is Bath playing in the light blue and gold. They will be going from left to right on your screen. But the women's team for Cardiff Met playing in a slightly different strip to the one the men were in earlier, in the navy blue and gold, as Ellie Ratcliffe, a representative of Bath Ladies Club as well as Bath Uni, gets us underway. And it's a solid and dependable carry. First up, as the shadows start to lengthen here at King Coyd. Met playing into that setting sun, which is certainly going to present a challenge, especially when it comes to their kicking game. An early chip, just 2 rucks in this play, before Met give possession over to Bath. And Liv Lewis tries to find a way through, but whistle goes, and we will have our first scrum of the day, which, Becky, you tell me, might not be your specialist subject.
What was that?
Scrums. You say might not be your specialist subject.
If you comment on that, I'm sorry, but I'll reply with NA. Still clueless to this day, but hey.
Well, I'm afraid to say, if you're a forward watching this and you really want an in-depth insight into the front row, we're not going to be able to provide you with that as well as we could a couple of weeks ago when Joe Cowell was here, former Met and now Cardiff Rugby representative. But it is Met that managed to win the first scrum, and they play it straight into the hands of the backs, which is something the two of us do like to see. An area of the rugby field that we are more familiar with, and they continue from left to right. The kick put in by Grace Eckford, but cleared out quickly by Bath, who are just short of the Cardiff Met halfway line. And now over to Liv Lewis, who put in that kickoff to start the game. Advantage being played here to Bath. Good catch from Snape to keep that play alive, and a chip over the top, knocked forwards by Cardiff Met, but we will go back for the original infringement. What are the boots like on the Bath team? Could anyone find the range from here, or will it be a case of always going for touch?
We're not really a kicking team. Our kicking is definitely needs some practice, but Alex Nolan and Lucia are putting in a good shift, and Alex's little chip and chase there was absolutely great. We want to see more of that.
We definitely do. We like that kind of broken play and heads up rugby that creates space, creates chances, and generally leads to tries. So just shortly after our first scrum, we will have our first line out. Bath to throw, just short of the 22. Get a hand to it, but it's turned over as the ball comes towards the ground by Cardiff Met. Ruck on the far side, Bath having to readjust to defend. And they have their first promising attacking position. That's a really good carry from Met up to the 10-metre line now. And you can see there, though, just that extra kind of half second to catch the ball on this pass. Really an impact of the low sun in the eyes. This one staying alive, as Abby Lamb was not able to take it cleanly. It went over her head. She had Lucia Davis bearing down on her, putting under a lot of pressure. But the Bath wing has done well to make sure that ball comes back on her own side. Big hit on Rose Francis. Gets the penalty for Cardiff Met. And in a sort of opposite position on the pitch to where Bath just had their penalty, Cardiff Met now have the opportunity to make the first entrance into the 22 of either side in this game. Holly Chatfield in the 10 shirt for Met today manages to get that about halfway between the 22-metre line and the try line. First opportunity for an attacking platform for Cardiff Met. So Becky, you're a 12.
Yes.
On a defensive line out like this, how much are you trying to, as we actually see your 12 right now pointing at her opposite number, how much are you looking to line them up and try and get in their head and make sure they know that you're coming after them?
Oh, it's all about the physicality, isn't it? As soon as you've got that point, you've got to make sure you're really nice and loud and you just absolutely hit them hard. That first hit has just got to be vital. Just like that with Abby Lamb, absolutely brilliant work from her in defence.
Yes, Sarah Webster looking to be a star on the pitch today in the number 8 jersey for Cardiff Met, who are happy to play the ball through the hands, shift it wide over to this right-hand side. And now just about 7 metres short the line, considering going blind again, but they go infield. Nia Powell with the carry now. And looking for quick ball into the hands of Chatfield and on to Molly Thomas. Just slowed down there by Francis. Now go back to the right-hand side. Chatfield on again, nice hands, and a quick offload from De Freitas Alves to her second row partner, Davis. On again to that right-hand side. There is space there. Can they feed the ball through? Just a couple of metres short now, and Bath get the penalty. They get the turnover. Huge defensive stand from the women in light blue. That'll give them a lot of confidence, Becca, to have overcome that first big attack from the Archers and got away with it with a penalty and an opportunity to clear their lines. Absolutely.
Their defensive work right there was absolutely brilliant. Great shots from Rose. Shout out to her. That was just brilliant.
Yeah. It's definitely a good opportunity for Met to score, and they were certainly trying to stretch the Bath defence, just weren't able in the end to create the overlap they needed. This is a break now for Bath and a really good opportunity. Still going, just the fullback to beat. Is there support for Jess Doyle? She manages to get the offload, and again a further one. Now on to Abby Lamb, feeds infield to Alex Nolan. The woman from Derry still goes, and on to Shannon Jarrett. Loose pass, but Bath hands on it again. Just trying to find that gap, but running back into where the Met traffic was. Will slow the play down a bit, allows Met to get themselves set. Frantic defending here as Lucy McGrath gets into the 22. Jarrett out to Holdsworth. Big hit put in by Sarah Webster. Lovely stuff from the Met 8. The kick really not going to anyone there, but for a moment, Met captain Tao Barnes maybe needed to be a little bit quicker on the ball to make sure she got that there. Luckily for the Archers, there wasn't really anyone chasing from Bath on that. They knew they had a free play and were perhaps content to just let that ball go into Met hands and take the breather.
Alex Nolan always looking for that cheeky little kick into the hands of Abby Lamb. Just a bit quicker, then we could have been there. That's exciting though. Got my heart going for a second.
I mean, this is why people should be down here at Rugby 1 watching this one, and why we hope you stick with us through the stream of this match. It's going to be a really exciting contest between these two teams. Bath certainly with a point to prove, currently in the second division of Women's University Rugby, while there are a lot of players in the Met first team that, of course, have just made it to the Super Rugby final, that are in their final years at the university. And so chances for some of these players on the pitch today to stake their claim for getting the jersey in the next season. Bath not quite able to get the lifter in the air, and a slightly unconventional attempt to win that line out. Sees the ball lost forwards, sees hands on the head up here from Becca Lacey.
Stop giving it away. I have faith. I have faith.
So 2 attacking lineouts and 2 lost attacking lineouts for Bath at the moment. It is early stages in the game. I don't mean to sound too down on Bath's luck there. 8.5 minutes gone. No.
Well, give Bath 15 minutes. That's what they normally like, and then they've got it in the bag. There's a few they've got to get off their sleeve, and then they'll be back at it. So, you know what? That's okay. This is normal for us. It's fine.
You know, if I was playing 9 and I saw the ball trickle out the side of the scrum there, I would be very tempted to go and pick it up. 9s are always trying to bend the rules and tell the referee that actually they know the law book better than the referee does themselves. But in that instance, unfortunately for Lucia Garcia, she wasn't in the right, and penalty for Cardiff Met. Throw in here. according to jersey numbers, is being made by Nia Powell, but I don't believe that's correct. So we'll try and get this for definite for you, but it would be either Chloe Gant or Molly Crabb who would be throwing in, and just in a different jersey. Jamie, I don't suppose you recognise the players. That's at 13 is playing at 10. Bath win the scrum. Out to Alex Nolan, ball over the top and then back inside. And they will come back for the penalty. So Bath kicking for the corner after that latest penalty. And we'll hope to do a little bit more damage on the Met line than they have been able to on some of the line-outs so far. But this is certainly encouraging signs for Bath to be in this position on the pitch. And they've been down here for a while now.
This is the position where we want to be.
Again, the line-out just not quite functioning perfectly, but that ball has gone backwards and then into the hands of Francis, who powers towards the line. Stopped 4 metres short. And on now to Downs Hall. And the break and the opening score for Lily Downs Hall. The 23-year-old scoring for Bath. The opening points in this one. Cardiff Met 0, Bath 5. And it is under the sticks, so expect more to come from Bath.
You know what, that was absolutely brilliant. Lily put such a shift in there. Her elusive footwork is just absolutely perfect. Wow, thrilling. How do you feel?
I mean, it's like we were just saying, it's early days in this one. Lots of time for Met to come back. They will be frustrated with that one, to have kind of been in such a promising position, counter-attacking rugby from Bath, and then to give away multiple penalties. They've allowed Bath multiple opportunities there to concede that try. And as we wait for the kick to add the extras, which are scored by Alex Nolan. 7-0 now to Bath. That is the scoreline up in Hartpury as well, but it is 7-0 to Cardiff Met. The men looking to follow in the footsteps of the women and overcome the favourites in that one, the home side, Hartpury. But here it is, Cardiff Met 0, Bath 7, and we're just waiting for a ball to be brought onto the pitch, which will be kicked high into this evening sky from the bare patch of the field in the middle. Testament to how well used this pitch has been through the season by the first teams of both our women's and men's outfits on Wednesdays in Buck Super Rugby, and also on Saturdays as well. And we're just hearing it has gone 12-0 up in Hartpury, as well as Bath get a hand to that one before it goes out over the touchline. A frustrating loss of possession for Bath.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. It's just one of those things, isn't it? But that's okay.
So, Met, for the second time, will have a line out inside the Bath 22. This bit of the pitch is probably the nicest bit for Met to be in, with the shade coming from the swimming pool. But it doesn't help them win the line out. Spilt forwards, and Bath with the opportunity to counter-attack as they did last time they were here. And Grace Eckford lifts Alex Nolan high into the air, but then makes sure she puts her to ground safely to avoid conceding the penalty. So we'll go back for the scrum.
Great work from Lucy there. That turnover was amazing.
So tell me, Becca, have you ever had an instance where you've been playing in a game and, as often happens, forwards get sent to the sin bin, they're short in a scrum? Have they ever turned to you and said, we need you to pack down along with the other 7?
Do you know what? I didn't really want you to be asking me this, but I was flanker for 7 years, so I do.
You know a lot more about the scrum than you're trying to let on.
I have been part of the forwards for a while, but it's outside the scrum, you know. You don't really look at what's going on, you're just there.
Well, this is a promising little passage of play from Bath and a good handoff. The old don't argue coming in from Abby Lamb, who just keeps her foot in touch, although it is a Bath assistant referee on that side. I think I do see a bit of paint on Abby Lamb's boot, but play will continue, and Bath are further in field now to avoid any accusations that they may have expanded the width of the pitch. A huge hit forces the knock on, but also the penalty for Bath.
There we go.
Interesting. And it looks like Bath are going for the tap and go rather than kicking for touch. Is that related to your point earlier, Becca, about not really being much of a kicking side?
Saying that, Lucia loves a kick, but that quick tap there, fair enough, let's have it. There we go.
Box kick put in and just over the head of Chatfield chasing back. We did see there another big hit from Grace Eckford, the inside centre for Metz. She's certainly one to keep an eye out for through the rest of this game. And a quick dart up in the line from Georgie Barham, nearly forcing the knock on from Met. Chatfield, that goes through her hands with the sun in her eyes. She's got work to do here. But we will come back from the original knock on. As the wind starts to pick up here at King Croyd. Probably no bad thing for some of the spectators who have spent a long day in the sun cheering their university on across the whole range of sport. It's not just been the basketball, the netball, the football and the rugby that we've had on the live stream. We have had sports such as lacrosse, hockey, cricket, athletics, and many more to keep the students from both Bath and Cardiff Met entertained. Those of them in the Archers Arena at the moment will be entertained by the fact that Cardiff Met are currently leading 21-18 at quarter time. 24-18, sorry, is the score from the basketball, so a slightly larger margin there for Met. As I see on the far side, Duck Norris. Presumably, I don't know if ducks can lick their wounds with their beak, but presumably licking his wounds after losing his 3rd consecutive mascot race to Archie the Dragon.
Oh, really? What a day.
Lovely little kick, and Chase just kept it. Oh, interesting. That one's called out.
Hey, well, if you have a look, let's get the magnifying glass. I do see white paint on her boot, so let's play to the ref here, please.
We've got John McEnroe here. It was on the line. Look at the paint. So it will be Bath ball. Yeah, good to see a decent crowd here at Rugby 1. Numbers, unfortunately, have slightly dwindled from the men's game, which strikes me as a bit of a surprise, Becca. For me, the biggest sport this year is women's rugby. It's got an unbelievable year ahead of it. Obviously, the Six Nations going on at the moment. Wales getting better with every single match. England, the best team in the world, as Bath make it over the 10-metre line in Met territory. And then, of course, the Rugby World Cup to come in England this autumn. So much to look forward to, so much going on at the moment.
It's one of those things, the growth in women's rugby has been absolutely phenomenal recently. But it's things like this where you've got Varsity, people have been here from, 9 a.m. and then this is the final game. You've got some buses that have already left. I think it's just unfortunate, isn't it? You should have people staying to watch. They say they're going to watch, but they don't turn up. It's one of those things. You just hope they're watching on this live, hey?
Hopefully they are watching along and listening to your excellent insight on co-coms here, and maybe just turning it down when it's my turn to speak. as Met do just win that scrum, although under pressure from Bath. That was a good one from their 8. And played all the way out to the wing, and the opportunity for a half break thrown back in field, and still Met go through Charlotte Grace. Can they get the support there to the ruck? They just about managed to get the numbers and win this one, keep the play moving forwards. Chatfield on to De Freitas Alves, and Eckford, not only can she put in the big hit, she can put in the big passes as well, as Lucia Davis looks to work her way back in field. Loose ball there, and Bath are allowed to pick it up. That ball was out. Good awareness from the West Country side. This box kick is just going to stay in. A nice catch from Charlotte Grace. Big fight to get her to ground from Lewis, but does so eventually. Step inside from Rachel Minto.
Great shot from Abby Lamb there.
Good technique, that.
Yeah, amazing. And again from Lucy.
But Met enjoying this offload game that allows Webster to break over the 22-metre line. They will continue to go to that right-hand side. Chatfield, what can she create? On to Molly Thomas. And slowed down a little bit here by Bath. Just not quite the numbers at the ruck that Met need to get that quick ball. And Chatfield sees the ball slip through her hands. Not for the first time, unfortunately, for her. But it is a Met penalty, and it's right in front of the stick. So, decision to be made here. Do they go and get their first points on the board, narrow the deficit to 4 points? Or will they go instead for touch and try and hammer home their advantage in this position? Instead, they'll go with Bath's tactic, a tap and go on to who I have down on my team sheet is Nia Powell, but I don't believe it is. I'm afraid until we've got confirmation of exactly who it is in the 17 jersey, I am going to have to continue with Nia Powell. As Met about 7 metres out now, Chatfield, and she's been really well supported by her 2 second rows. On that occasion, it was Davis to take that ball up. And still moving forwards, and there is the opening try for Cardiff Met. Ola Davis just able to keep on going and going and going over that line, and the opportunity for Met to level the scores with the conversion here. Davis is real chuffed with that, and so she should be. Okay, good score from the Archers.
Yeah, I've got to say their hands there were pretty impressive.
And the Ultras are absolutely loving it. This spring sunshine turning the surroundings golden. And that is exactly what Met are aiming for today. They are going for gold in this match and in Varsity overall. Remember, that overall score remains Cardiff Met 51, Bath 49, with many sports still in action, but not much time left for either team to do their best to win it. Chatfield, big, powerful kick, but it just goes wide. So Met will be 2 points behind, a quarter of the way through this match. As Bath jog back up to half-time. You're not on the pitch, Becca, so who is going to be the person under the sticks there that's going to step up, get the chat in there, tell the girls exactly what they need to do as they head back to take this restart?
So vice captains of the year as Lucy McGrath and Georgie Barham. Lucy McGrath definitely will be giving them a little words wise of what more to do.
A nice restart, high and hanging, just knocked backwards from Alex Vergottini. And her support gets there just in time. Chatfield with a torpedo kick collected by Izzy Millard. Nice break up that short side. Oh, the counter ruck coming in from Molly Thomas. The referee not happy with it. Let them play, I say. The referee probably knows the rules better than I do, and so brings them back. And good position on the pitch here to try and get that ball down into the corner.
And I see that Molly Wilkinson's now on the pitch, replacing Alex Nolan. So, stayed in touch.
You gotta get that ball out in that position. But we know how good Bath are at counter-attacking. Here is another opportunity. Barham to her inside centre partner, Abby Lamb. And then on to Lewis. And back to Byron. It's going to be Jarrett to play it infield. And on to Francis. Just not able to be held on by the Bath try scorer, Lily Downs Hall. Frustrating for them to have another opportunity slip away. Grace Eckford puts in the kick. And once again, the chance to run from deep with space in front of her goes Ellie Ratcliffe. Another of the players in this side that also is involved with Bath Ladies. The step coming in from Lamb, and she still goes. Oh, in the end, it had to be the wrestler throw from Orla Davis, the woman from Nottingham, who was one of the players that's part of that 12-game win streak earlier this season. Met looking to play from their own line. Inventive, expansive, brave, and it's paying off for them right now. Oh, just spilt forward by Charlotte Grace. What a great hit from the Bath covering defence to get in there, and now they will have their own chance to run it back. Stopped on the 10-metre line. Really exciting rugby here at King Croyd campus. Cardiff Met 5, Bath 7. And it's these two teams proving themselves to be evenly matched and looking to play as Lewis breaks down the right-hand side. This will be their second try. They move to a 7-point gap, and the teammates of Lewis coming in joyfully, jumping all over to celebrate that try. Great score.
Absolutely speechless. Absolutely brilliant work. Our hands there to be able to get it from edge to edge was just perfect. Joining the defender, easy slot into this place, and Liv Lewis dotted it down on the line. That is just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think the conversation under the Met sticks has got to be, you know, another pass a bit closer with the support on the far side for Charlotte Grace, and they could have been the ones that were over the line and about to kick a conversion. As it is the replacement, Molly Wilkinson, the Bristol Bears and Wales international, who's got the opportunity now to push Bath's lead out, and that not a moment she'll particularly remember, so we won't dwell on it too much. Met 32, Bath 31 in the men's basketball, just 1 point between those two sides. And in the men's Bucks Super Rugby, Hartbury 5, Cardiff Met 14. 2 tries to Met, 1 try to Hartbury that they failed to convert. Over here it is Cardiff Met 5, Bath 12, and 3 tries in the opening half hour on this one. So Met having to play into an ever decreasing amount of sun, and so put that ball into an area where they won't have it in their eyes, but aren't able to put in a tackle, which allows Bath to keep playing this through the hands and onto the dangerous boot of Molly Wilkinson. And it's an important chase back here for Lucia Davis, who just gets there despite the attentions of Lewis, and Bath forcing the turnover but forcing it illegally. Penalty to Cardiff Met. That was a great chase from Lewis, obviously energised by the try she's just scored, and good vision from Wilkinson too. Absolutely,
definitely. Did see a bit of blocking going on there, but ref didn't see that. It's okay.
Well, you know, I think if the assistant referee in a Bath shirt didn't see it either, then we've got to let it go, really.
Chat.
Yeah. Chatfield. Nice kick. That just sits up in the wind a little bit. Advantage was being played. Met can't take this quickly without the ball. So they send Salunga to go and get it on the far side. That was a inch perfect little kick back she's put in there. I'll be keen to see a little more as long as kicking game on that right wing if she's got that kind of accuracy. Chatfield, that's a nice touch finder on the penalty. About 30 metres out from the Bath line. Cheers, Jamie. Lots of backfield for Met to play into here. We've seen that they are keen to throw the ball around a bit. We have seen that they're happy to kick it as well, but to do either of those things, first you need to catch the ball when it comes out the line-outs. Wilkinson puts in a big hit, forces that ball backwards, but does create a gap. I think some of the Bath players just expecting that they were going to get the turnover from Wilkinson's hit. No one there to tackle Wells Watkins initially as she ran through. She looked for the chip kick herself and unfortunately just wasn't quite able to connect with it. Ball goes forwards, Bath scrum. Met just trying to get a little bit of a wheel on that scrum, but Bath managing to hold on to it, and they break through here with Berham, and she weaves her way to the right and finds Wilkinson, who could go herself, but she goes back inside. Ellie Ratcliffe will score Bath's third, and their second right underneath the posts. Wonderful score from Bath, going all the way from just outside their 22 with the scrum. Breaking through the line immediately. Good support from their back line and another try.
You know what, that is the best support you can ever have, from Georgie to Molly to Ellie. That is just perfect. 2v1s, they're exploiting that space and they're just attacking. Oh, perfect. Brilliant work. Let's see more of that, please.
Nolan takes the time to compose herself, takes the time as well to give her teammates the opportunity to suck in some oxygen after that latest burst from deep inside their own half. No problem with that kick from right in front. Met 5, Bath 19, and with the overall Varsity margin at just 2 points, Beckett, a win here for Bath could be absolutely crucial in deciding the outcome of this year's contest.
Wouldn't it be brilliant if we lifted that award, hey?
I think there are some things in sports that are a matter of perspective. As neutral as I'm trying to be here. And Met really need to stop giving Bath the opportunity to run into space. They need to do more of that, get themselves over the ball quickly, and they're going for the quick tap here. I can confirm that is Chloe Gant in the 17 jersey. Celtic Challenge representation and experience on the pitch from the start for Cardiff Met, as Eckford, who's got to be the strongest player on this pitch, I think, toe-to-toe with Sarah and Webster in that respect. Thought she wasn't held. She was, so she couldn't pick that ball, or she couldn't carry on, getting herself up off the ground there without releasing the ball. Penalty, Bath. Disappointing outcome in the end for Met, but another time that we've seen Eckford really look to stamp her control on this match.
I've got to say, I'm quite surprised. Met seems to be quite flat, but every time the ball goes through to the backs, missed passes galore. Really good handling from them.
Well, things swinging one way and then the other across the picture as Bath extend their margin in this one. Met extend their margin in the men's basketball. 41-34 they lead now, while their margin has been narrowed in the men's Buck Super Rugby, just leading by 2 points, 14-12 against Hartbury. That line-out throw not straight, as Madison Collins looks to go for the tap and go, which of course you can't do on a not straight line-out.
I think I wouldn't have a bit of gust of wind came there. Don't think that was anything to do with Iga, but hey, bad timing.
It is unfortunate for her. Yeah, the conditions are certainly something that you've got to be able to play when you come to South Wales. Not particularly Welsh conditions here today. I'm hearing from some people that it's a bit like Barry-Bados. It's not like Barry... well, it sort of is actually today, like Barry-Bados, but not normally like this at Rugby 1. Ball spilt forwards again. Luckily, Met do clear it up before Molly Wilkinson can hack it through and chase her own kick to what would inevitably have been, I feel, another try for Bath under the sticks, the way Wilkinson's been playing since she's come on. Now, you told me before the game, Becca, that Wilkinson is having her minutes managed in her return from injury. Do you know how many minutes her physio is allowing her to play at this point? How much Wales is allowing her to play?
20-30 minutes for this game.
20 to 30?
Something like that, one or the other. Don't quote me, but...
So, hopefully, from a Met perspective, that's knowledge that they have, so that they know they just need to get through that 20-30 minutes of her on the pitch with the danger she presents. But there are more dangers in the back line than just Wilkinson. Ellie Ratcliffe is certainly one of them. The fullback has already scored for Bath, and she's gone on quite a few incisive runs. As the first try scorer, Downs Hall, is now the one to take the ball up. Wilkinson shapes for the kick, shapes for the pass, goes for the pass in the end. Tackle made by Davis, and still working their way to the right-hand side. Wilkinson involved every step of the way here, and out from Jarrett, then back the other way to the starting fly half, Alex Nolan, who's absolutely chopped to the ground. There's the Derry girl, Wilkinson. And that one just behind Barham. Cleared up by none other than Wilkinson. Puts in the chip kick. And well marshalled in the end by the Met defence, who will have possession on their 22. We've seen a couple of balls being thrown through hands here in this position, so they need to be really careful. In the end, Eckford decides her catch and step back to the right-hand side was enough to give her the platform to kick. And again, we will see a Bath counter. Lewis slightly running away from support here and finding that actually there were more Met shirts on that right touchline than she would initially have anticipated. And the counter ruck coming in from Met. Gant feels that she was interfered with as she tried to get over that ball. The referee is of the same opinion. Penalty to Met. Just a few minutes left in this first half, which certainly on the scoreboard has belonged to Bath. They have that 14-point lead, 2-score lead, but it feels like at the breakdown, in the physical elements of the game, it's been very even so far, Becca.
Yeah, no, definitely. Cardiff Met definitely been giving that physicality in their jackals. That's been really on point. But Bath's backs, just to be seen to put an absolute shift in, getting into that space, absolutely brilliantly.
And as Gant waits to throw into this line out, I can update you with the news we didn't want to hear, which is Hartbury have gone ahead in their semi-final, 19-4. So 3 tries to Hartbury, 2 to Met, 19-14. Sorry, I've subtracted a few points off Cardiff Met. 5-point lead for Hartbury in that one, 14-point lead for Bath in this one. So much sport going on today across Kincoid campus and around Bucks in general. Oh, that line out, one against the head by Seren Webster, who loves a run, who loves a handoff, already up to the 22. Met with a good opportunity here, just clung onto by Tal Barnes. We've not seen too much of her in attack there, and then lost forwards by Met, and that seems to be the story of their attack in this opening 40 minutes. Platforms, yes. Oh, opportunity goes Grace Eckford. Wow. What are your thoughts on that call, Becca?
No comment. Play to the ref, isn't it? But I was just going to say, the play before, that was absolutely brilliant from Cardiff Met. It's just communicating who wants that ball. There were 2 options. for a hard line and out the back. If they gave that out the back, I think they would have been through to that space. That winger was there for the support. It's just unfortunate which way the ball went there.
They are absolutely on the cusp each time they attack Cardiff Met. But the difference maker so far is that Bath are able to find their way over that point and their way over the whitewash. But we may have a turnover here for Cardiff Met. We do indeed. Marnie de Freitas Alves getting over the ball, getting the penalty. Again, a loose pass from Met. This one knocked backwards by Grace. She gets her hands to it in the end. Steps inside Molly Wilkinson. Not often that you see Wilkinson miss a tackle. This is going to be a turnover for Bath, though. Really good counter-rucking from Georgie Barham. She is a brown belt in karate, I understand, Becca, and I think she's using all her skills to good effect there.
No, absolutely. Great fun fact, that.
I've got to confess my knowledge of the different belts in karate, not my specialist subject if I was to go on Mastermind. How high is brown?
I have no idea.
It feels
I want to
quite
say it's
high.
the one below black.
Yeah, it feels
No?
like it must be quite high.
I don't have a clue.
On the
It sounds
basis
good.
of that turnover, we've got it sounds like we have got an expert on karate down in the gallery who's just come through. He says black is top, purple below that, and brown below that, which makes so much sense. And so just a couple of levels below the peak is Barham, and using those skills with aplomb there. Very frustrating. Yes, that's a difficult loose ball. But Watkins would have wanted to do better there on that one. Luckily, it doesn't cost her side too much. Time was up in this first half, and the referee's whistle goes. Cardiff Met 5, the University of Bath 19. The first half belongs to Bath. And Becca, with that in mind, let's just wind our way back. That opening try under the sticks for Lily Downs Hall. There was then a score on the right-hand side for Liv Lewis before Ratcliffe also went over in the middle. So 3 try scorers, really exciting scores on each occasion for Bath.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's absolutely great work. It's come from the team, hasn't it? It's not just been individual. These girls have been working so hard together and just really attacking and finding that space. Lily, though, straight away, that footwork and that drive was absolutely phenomenal. We knew that this was going to happen. It's been happening all season from Lily, so no, absolutely great. I'm sure she'll be so chuffed about that.
And this that we're seeing right now on the pitch is happening more and more with sides. The backs and the forwards will go into 2 separate huddles. Interesting that both sides are choosing to do that on this occasion. For you as a rugby player at this point in time, my days are long behind me. What advantage do you feel there is in separating the forwards and backs out? I can think of a few, but they might not be the kindest ones as a back.
Oh gosh. Well, it's just talking with the forwards packs. It's nothing to do with the backs, really, is it? Both completely different roles within the rugby, talking through their strengths and weaknesses now, and then when they'll come through to the end, they'll talk together and what they've all talked about and how they can help each other. But just having that divide within them really helps specify what they need to improve on, because with the backs it can be something completely different to the forwards, right? But no, coming together at the end, they'll be discussing what's going on in these talks right now.
And what would you be saying as the captain? You've got a lead of 14 points. You've outscored your opposition 3 tries to 1, and you've played most of the rugby either in the Cardiff Met half or in their 22. Things are looking good for Bath at the moment. How do you refocus and make sure you get more of that in the second half?
I'd like to see more from the forwards, to be honest. I mean, their defensive shift in this game, let's just say, Rachel Minto, who has been... who's playing flanker right now, that's not her position at all. She's a scrum half, so for her to be lifting in these one-man lineouts as well that I've been seeing, it's been great. Plays like this, I would just like to see the forwards have that one step up, their ball carries. I'd like to see more tip options come from them. But no, backs from uni have been absolutely great. Let's just seeing where it goes from now.
Now we see both teams in unison break from their separate forwards and backs huddles into a combined one. Met ready to go in this second half already. Often we'll see for Bucks Super Rugby the teams return to the changing rooms for a more extensive debrief, but arguably that's because late on a Wednesday night down here at Rugby 1 it tends to be cold, dark and wet, and it's nice to take the respite that the changing room offers. The clocks have gone forward, spring has truly sprung, the sun is still in the sky, we've had a beautiful day here. Neither team wants to spend any more time indoors than they have to, and Met certainly want to use this second 40 minutes to go back at Bath and try and get the victory here. An excellent restart, bouncing just the right side of the 10-metre line, allows Gotani to get the bouncing ball and Met to move the play forwards from here, although Bath potentially just holding up Davis there could have caused the maul, could have caused the turnover. In the end, Met do keep hold of this and move it quickly to the left-hand side. That ball spun a little bit too hard from Eckford over to Davis on the far side. Knocked forward and Bath scrum.
Do you know what? It really is unfortunate. Cardiff Met can do so well edge to edge. It's just that last passage of play, that last pass. They just can't seem to get their hands on the ball. It is gutting to see. They do deserve a try here, I've got to say. It's really hard, but yeah, it's just executing that last passage of play is a bit of a downfall from them at the moment.
It's frustrating for them when they've seen Bath score some really good tries from deep, using that broken play and being able to just put the ball through the hands. They want to do the same themselves, but just not quite able to at the moment. It is half-time in the men's Bucks Super Rugby semi-final. It's Hartpury 19, Cardiff Met 14. So the Archers will now have to mount a comeback job in the second half, just as effective as the one Hartpury managed in the first. And Bath win that scrum. That pass goes to no one from Wilkinson. Our teammates just not quite on the same wavelength, but Reece Gresty managing to step out of that tackle. A woman who has run the Bath half this year to raise money for the Royal United Hospital in Bath. So a really good cause as we see the break coming here from Cardiff Met. It's going to be their second try. Bath caught completely unawares, and Isla Craig goes over for a really good score. And delighted with that one. Classic scrum half try, that one. Brilliant. No one saw her.
Absolutely brilliant. The speed, I don't think anyone was stopping her there. That was really great play. Spotted the space nice and early, and the execution was just perfect. Yeah, fair play.
I mean, we talked about what you would have been saying in the Bath huddle, but I'm sure the words in the Met one were, we have to get the next score in the second half if we want to stay in this one. They've done exactly that, just 2.5 minutes into the second 40. They get their second try, they narrow the gap, and we will have a kick from Holly Chatfield, the Staffordshire native, halfway between the 5 and the 15 from touch. Looking to put this one over, and we're going to get the attempted charge down from Bath. Here it goes. Ball comfortably over the top, but not comfortably over the bar, rattling the woodwork. Shows the power behind that kick, how much the post shook there. But unfortunately, even with all that power and oomph behind it, Chatfield wasn't able to burst the ball through the post. And so it remains Met 10, Bath 19. But job one of this second half done. Score the opening try. Now, job two is going to be shut down Molly Wilkinson as she restarts for Bath. That's a great kick.
That's a beautiful kick.
Over the head of Craig, who may well still be enjoying the replay in her head of that try she's just scored down the blind side. On to Webster, who has really impressed me so far for Met. And again, they're keeping this ball alive through the hands. But again, it goes loose, and this could be the opportunity for a try for Bath. Jess Doyle so close to getting there. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And Yeah, he has awarded the try. Well, fourth try for Bath. That happened so quickly, Becca. I didn't quite get the number of who scored for Bath. Did you see?
Jess Stoll, our lovely winger. I'm sure she'll be so happy with that. That was perfect.
Well, she's already represented England at the under-20s level, and poacher tries like that will do her claims for more no harm at all.
Absolutely. Can I just say, where on earth has the crowd gone? Where are they going?
I can only imagine they're following the sun, and as that is setting behind the clouds, they are either heading to the bars or into Archer's Arena to watch the men's basketball, which does continue at the moment. The score there is Met 43, Bath 41. Yeah, the women's rugby is where they should be. This is an engrossing contest between these two sides. Wilkinson's conversion attempt fades to the left-hand side, although had plenty of legs on it. That means that Bath restore their 14-point lead that they came into this half with. And a try that Met simply shouldn't have conceded. Great to see that ambition, that they want to play away from their own line. That last pass shouldn't have been given. There was space in front of the runner, should have gone into it and kept hold of the ball.
It's just unfortunate, isn't it? It's one of those things. I think that player will be thinking for a few more minutes of this game, but it's just picking yourself back up from that, giving it another shot.
Not able to take the restart cleanly, but it does go backwards and into the hands of Francis, who immediately attracts the attentions of the on-rushing Met defence. As Chaleska trying to get over the 22, but penalty won by Met. And it is, of course, Craig wanting to go quickly on to Thomas Bradley.
Right into the hands of Ellie Ratcliffe. Wow.
Not a player you want to be giving an interception to, as Gizzing, another injury returnee for Bath, looks to break down that right-hand side. Pulled down in the end, and the blitz defence outfoxed by Bath.
Questionable, was that offside?
It was certainly someone going on the B of the bang for Molly Crabb. B of the bang rather than the G. And more pressure from the Met defence forces the knock on. Good place to have a scrum, centre field, 10 metres into Bath's half. And options both sides, of course. Isla Craig is certainly going to be dangerous from the base of this. I would not be surprised to see either her or Sarah Webster pick and go from this one, Becca.
Okay, let's see if you're right.
Well, difficult to do that when a scrum goes straight down, and on that occasion it's a knee down from Bath, penalty to Met. Again, Craig looks to go quickly to put that on to the hands of De Freitas Alves. And in the end, Met go to the left.
Great tackle there from Eager, by the way. That carry was great, but that contact, that strength from Eager's tackle there was just great.
Now, I've heard that she's had some interesting experiences at Varsity before, Becca.
What have you heard?
I've heard that maybe she walked out of her house after the last Varsity.
You could say that. That is actually correct. And was she naked? She was. So.
Well, for her sake, we hope that not only does she manage to get the win in this one, but that she manages to stay inside her own house. And certainly inside her own clothes later on tonight, rather than ending up on the street in a situation she probably wouldn't want to be in. Penalty to Cardiff Met on the 22. Tao Barnes marches over to chip this one into touch. The attempt from Alex Nolan to leap into the air and throw it back in field before the line out was awarded to Met has really backfired on Nolan. I think she's jarred her knee as she's landed there. Not what she would have wanted.
Shout out to Alex though. You'll see things like that from her. She's just absolutely crazy like that. Laughs it off, shrugs it off. It's what you want to see, isn't it?
Bath sending the jumper in the air. No need for Bath to when the line out. Sorry, no need for Met to when the line out was crooked and also, unfortunately, not far enough in the air for any jumper to reach. So Bath given a lucky break just when Met had got themselves into a good position. Met 48, Bath 46 in the men's basketball with just 6.5 minutes remaining in the third period. The second half has got underway in Hartpury. Hartpury 19, Met 14 in that one. Isla Craig putting pressure on the 9 at that scrum, and in the end it is Nolan, who maybe is still feeling that jarred knee from her attempt to keep ball in play, who spills it forwards. And so just seconds after the last one we will have another scrum, and we all know, Becca, just how much a forward pack loves to have repeated scrums.
Oh, absolutely, all here for it.
The looks I used to receive as a 10 if I knocked the ball on off the back of a scrum will haunt me for the rest of my days.
Don't want to mess with the forward, do you? Oh,
there's the pick and go from Saren Webster. I thought it might be coming off the last scrum. It came off this one instead. I thought she would be busting through a tackle from one of the Bath defenders. As it was, there was a chasm open in front of her, and she gladly accepts it. Try for Cardiff Met, their third of the game, and they are just making sure that they stay in this one. Becca, as a captain, you'd be pretty frustrated that there was no one there on the line, alive to the fact that Webster was always likely to do that.
Yeah, well, our defence there wasn't ideal, was it? There were gaps. No one was really marking player on player. Wasn't much communication there on who we were marking. They just took that gap straight away. And fair play, that was just perfect. Perfect play from Cardiff Met there. Bath, come on, RD. Can do better than that.
Well, with the post still shaking from the last time Holly Chatfield smashed the ball into them, she manages to get it through the middle on this occasion. Met 17, Bath 24. Just the one score between the two sides with half an hour left to play. Do not turn your attention away from this one. We have a hell of a contest to go, just as there is in Hartpury. Be reassured, I will keep you up to date with that one. You don't need to switch on to the Buck stream. You can stay on this one and I will keep you up to date with the scores there. Met have scored to level things up 19-19 with the kick to come. And it looks to be Vikas Meyer who scored, the big Dutch international, playing in the 14 jersey this week and last. And he will be looking to convert the kick, convert his own try. Going short on the line out here to Bath. Met win it against the head. Of course they're looking to counter. Of course it's Webster with ball in hand. On again, big gap in front now. Pin your ears back and go for it. It's the call from the teammates, and then a great rip coming in. Ruby Pike had made such great ground. Turnover though from Met. Isla Craig involved in the loop, and the play continues over to that left hand side. Faith Gallett galloping into Bath territory, and we have Alex Nolan down on this near side. So currently it is 15 women for Met attacking 14 Bath defenders. The ball loose, but Craig is there to pick it up and throwing the offload out the back. This is the time that Met with the advantage, although Nolan's getting back in the line. Here goes the break. Oh, what a covering tackle. That is absolutely incredible stuff from Ratcliffe. The seatbelt tackle over the ball, not over the shoulder, over the ball to force it out and force the knock on. A try saver for Bath. Yes, the penalty is there for Cardiff Met, but it is outside the 22, and for now the scoreline remains 17-24.
Very smart play from Ellie Ratcliffe there. That was what we needed there. Perfect.
Craig, tap and go. Both teams starting to favour this option more and more as play continues. That pass to no one, but good Awareness from the Met back line to make sure they got hands on that ball. Craig spills it, she darts to the right, so she goes back to the left. A bit of a crossing call potentially there, and then spilt forwards. Again, Met, as the attack builds, losing the ball, and Molly Wilkinson able to put in a kick that is going to be chased by both her and right winger for Bath, but it is Met who do manage to clear the ball up. And Thomas Bradley who will take it on here. Craig, frustrated by the fact that Bath were able to slow that ball down and get the turnover. They want to go quickly through Lucy McGraw. The Mancunian is brought back.
Ref doesn't like these quick taps, does he?
I mean, this is such a fast and frantic game. I wouldn't be surprised if his lungs are bursting at the moment. Okay, so what we are hearing is that Bath have won the volleyball. If they win here in the women's rugby as well, then that gives them the best possible chance of winning Varsity overall. But even a tie is still in the equation, and that result, a tie, would mean it comes down to the mascot race, which, as we know, was won by Archie the Dragon. He might not have realised it earlier, but he could be absolutely crucial to the Archers' chances here. Crucial to the Archers' chances as well is that line out there, which they have managed to win against the head. Another Bath penalty. Going to nothing. Another time that Met are able to break on this near side. Another time that a huge covering tackle comes in from Bath. The ref is going to call play back. The defence on this side from your team is absolutely incredible, Becca.
Do you know what? That was shout out to Molly Wilkinson there. I was just going to quote that she positioned herself as B at the breakdown, where a forward should be there, but she positioned herself exactly in that prime spot and managed to come all the way to the edge play to create that beautiful tackle. That's just great work from Molly.
Just to let you know, it remains 0-0 in the men's football. As play is taken over to the left-hand side by Bath. Just giving Met a lesson in how to keep hold of that ball, but Met looking to steal it in a way that Bath have been so successful at. Bath do just keep a hold of it. Spilt forwards by Wilkinson, and the referee has spotted that, playing the advantage to the Archers. None coming. Scrum to the girls in navy blue and gold.
So we see now that Ellie was full back, but now she's put herself as scrum half, which means Lucia's come off now. We have Maddie in full back now. Let's hope she scores some tries. I've got every faith in her.
So one fewer Hartpury College player on this Rugby 1 pitch, and one fewer Hartpury team in the Bucks Super Rugby finals at Rodney Parade, with the women's team having lost their semi-final to Cardiff Met earlier on today. Bath have just taken the lead in the men's basketball for the first time in quite a while. Met 53, Bath 54, with a minute and 3/4 left in the third period. And just a brief pause here as Faith Gallett heads to the sidelines. She wasn't able to bounce her way back up after that last breakdown. So Met forced into the substitution. The sun has fully gone behind the buildings here at King Coyd. So Bath, with none of the problems that Met had in the first half in terms of running into the sun and having that to contend with on high balls and long passes.
Saying that is pretty chilly now, isn't it? The wind's picked up a bit.
It does. I felt a bit silly earlier on walking down here to Rugby 1 with my coat in the bright sunshine, given how warm it has been today. But that is it's the knowledge of how cold it can get here at Rugby 1 on a Wednesday evening. But with just 20 minutes left in this one, Becky, you may well have the opportunity to get indoors before it gets too cold. the advantage of calling your first match here after the clocks have changed, for sure.
Brilliant.
The Bath backline absolutely poised to sprint up into the faces of the Met women. And it is a great bit of play here that sees Eckford break through the middle. Still she goes. Where's the support? Oh my goodness, I was just about to say a great decision from Grace to hold on to that ball, from Eckford, sorry, to hold on to that ball. When we've seen so many go loose from Cardiff Met. In the end, she went for the offload. In the end, it is wrestled back by Chloe Thomas-Bradley. And so Met will be able to keep this attack moving on forward. De Freitas Alves with the handoff to the face. The steal coming in from Barham. And so Beth with the opportunity to run the play out.
This is chaos. Frantic. Both teams. Absolutely chaos.
Yeah. Match swinging one way, then the other. And a forward pass called there. And that's why Jess Doyle wasn't able to take that one clearly. Ball down on her bootstraps as it came towards her.
I've got to say, the ball carries from Cardiff Met there, their handoffs were absolutely fierce there. Bath didn't know what to do with themselves, did they?
No, they were absolutely scampering, doing everything they could to shut down that attack. In the end, it was the loose offload that gave Bath their first possession. Met managing to wrest it back, and then another turnover from Bath. But we will have a scrum 10 metres into the Bath half here, as Molly Thomas helped to the sidelines. I believe that's Molly Thomas, just double checking. Yes, it is.
Substitution there. Eager just went off in replacement of Lily there as hooker. Bath's try score at the first half. Let's see what more she can add to it.
So the full front row replacements on Molly Crowd, Mia Powell and Chloe Thomas-Bradley in the front row for Cardiff Met. Well, the last time Met had a scrum in Bath's half was the simplest of pick and goes from the base for Sarah Webster to cross the try. Cross for the try. She has about 40 metres more to run on this occasion than she did on that one. So it may be the case that Craig goes to her back line again, where she will find Tal Barnes, captain of today's side, waiting at 10, having started the match at fullback. Barnes on to Eckford and back to Barnes.
Oh.
Good hands.
Oh.
Again, that final pass goes missing. It feels like a relatively simple fix, a relatively simple coaching point to come on from the sidelines. Don't force that final pass. But again and again, Met are doing so.
So frustrating. I mean, I'm not sure who it was there, but that winger needs to get hands on ball. Like, the pass has been too far in front of them. It's too much of a run for them to make. It's just basic hands to finish off that execution. Just hasn't been there today. Really feel for them.
It is very frustrating, but frustrating for Bath that they could not win their own lineouts. And then again, ball given away needlessly by Met, but just moments later it ends up back in their hands as the tiredness sets in for both sides. We are seeing a greater number of mistakes made. What a steal there. An open field for Shannon Jarrett, who will go all the way, and that could well be that for Bath in the women's rugby. They move 12 points clear with 16 and a half minutes to play. They made it a 2-score game here at Rugby 1. Crucial score. And what a break from Shannon Jarrett.
Just going to correct you there, Lucia. She started off as a scrum half, but now I think she's changed position. Unsure with what position she's playing at the moment now, because we have Ellie Ratcliffe at scrum half. But yeah, what great work from Lucia.
So sorry, yeah, Lucia Garcia in a different number jersey.
Confusing.
And not in the position she started, not playing scrum half. with an excellent try, and that will be her final act of the game. She jogs over to the sidelines, embraced by her teammates, and well, she might be, because that could be the game-winning try in this one. It is in fact three-quarter time in the men's basketball, where Met trail by 1 point, 59-60. In the men's Bucks Super Rugby, Hartbury has scored again. They are 2 points behind Cardiff Met. 54.5 minutes played there, and Met needing to clear their own lines. Conversion unsuccessful for Bath. Gives Met just the narrowest of opportunities to still have a chance of winning this one with 2 converted tries. But of course, as our camera one operator Daniel Thomas will know only too well from calling the men's game, you can't rule a draw out in Varsity Rugby here today. As Met attempt to counter at that ruck. Bath cling on to it, and Iona Mitchell, a bagpipe player, as you might expect with a name like Iona, picks and goes and wins the penalty for Bath. 15 minutes left in the game, a 12-point margin. It's all about clock management now, isn't it, Becca?
Absolutely. Oh, here we go. Lily back at it with the elusive footwork. Oh, isn't that just amazing? Wow. Just come on the pitch and gaining so many metres already.
Yeah, I mean, I say clock management, or of course you could just run through the middle of the Met defence and gain your team a whole load of ground.
That's what we do in Bath.
On goes Mitchell again, just short of the 22. Quick hands from Nolan, slightly too quick for Fiona Owen, unfortunately. Now, she's got a particular reason to want to get the win today. Not because of her Bath connections, or, well, I suppose on top of her Bath connections, but she's actually a Swansea native, isn't she? And we know that the people of Swansea are not too fond of people in Cardiff.
Oh no, she makes that loud and proud. Knowing that she's a Welshie, not the hatred, sorry, that's a bit too strong, but a few comments she will make here and there about Cardiff Met will not go unnoticed. She makes that for sure.
A potential opportunity to put the game to bed is missed by Bath. That penalty kick for touch goes long and over the dead ball line. So Met will have the scrum outside their 22.
Little giggle there from Alex Nolan.
And Met move ahead, 61-60 now in the men's basketball. As Bath have a 54-51 lead in Varsity overall. Down to the wire. Varsity 20-25. As the latest scrum fed by Met is going to be won by Met with a free kick. Craig, not for the first time, taps and goes quickly. The referee was having a conversation with the Bath players. He considered letting play continue, but in the end decides better of it, calls Met back, and they will have the option here to tap or to go for another scrum, given that it is a free kick.
Quite disappointing there for Cardiff Met. I think they were really looking for that quick option. Their backs were definitely ready. Just seeing what they can do now.
Bath with the opportunity to organise themselves a little better, and Llewellyn throws a loose ball that is cleared up by Eckford. Another loose ball, and Bath will surely be over this quickly. They have won that. Not quite. Knocked forwards. Met escape. But they are in the wrong part of the field as far as they are concerned. Time ticking down. 2 tries needed to level this up or sneak a small lead. We're into the 4th quarter of the basketball, and scores are level at 63-63. Scrum was looking really good from Met, and then Bath managed to get a shove back, so Met had to get it out of there hastily. through the hands and a kick, and just wrong foot. Maddie Gizzing there, but she's done really well as she picks it up, finds the space, and on now to Lewis. We saw what she could do in the first half with her try down the right-hand touchline. She goes through the middle on this occasion and is brought down in the end by Grace Eckford. Lost forwards by Bath. Met have possession. They go to the left-hand side with Craig. And through the hands of the forwards. Just about keeping possession there as that ball once again went to ground. Craig back in field. Good tackle from Mitchell. As the chants of Kincoid Road go up from the ultras on the sidelines. Molly Crabb's done well to collect that ball outside her and keep the play moving forwards. Now it is Llewellyn, spills forward, and the counter will come again from Maddie Gizzing. Shackled by Barnes and brought down, still inside Bath's half. The steal from Craig. She has been a ray of sunshine for Met since coming on in this second half. Part of everything good in their go-forward ball. And there is Grace Eckford just clinging onto it.
Ref seemed to let that sidewards into the gates there. Didn't go straight in, but okay, that's fine.
As Fiona Owen just clings on to the jersey there. Saw it stretch to its limits. And the referee will call both sides back. Offside is the decision.
Cardiff Met bringing the noise out there underneath the stand. I think that's exactly what Cardiff need at the moment.
They certainly do. The Ultras are talked about as the 16th player for the sides here at Kincoid campus. And they are doing their best. As another penalty is awarded to Cardiff Met. Eckford taps and goes herself. Caught by Owen. Craig to the left-hand side. Just clung onto by Maya Woolen. Still Met, but over the ball go Bath. And what a crucial intervention from Sasha Ward. Sorry, no, that's Lucy McGrath. I thought it was number 18 on her jersey. Lucy McGrath with a turnover and another penalty for Bath.
Mentioned earlier in the interview, the one to look out for, Lucy McGrath, like the jackals and turnovers she creates for Bath, just to getting that momentum. It's just perfect. It's great.
It's like you know your stuff, Becca. It's like you know your team.
Well, what can I say, hey?
The up and under from Met. Well taken by the Bath backline, despite the onrushing Saren Webster. And the break from Lewis. Webster's there. Over the ball and being told to leave it. And Owen, no attempt to disguise the handoff. She was running in with her palm fully outstretched from the moment she got that ball.
Great carry from Fionn there. Oh, that's unfortunate.
We're seeing so many steals in the tackle, aren't we?
Yeah.
And breathless play from both sides. Craig having to chase after that one. Puts in a decent kick that will allow both sides just to reset themselves as Gizzing has to take a moment to clear that one up. And now comes the kick from Salunga. From Davis. And play just stopping here as the ref has a word. He's calling that knocked on by Bath. Five-point margins in both the men's basketball and the men's rugby. One happy reading for Met, that's the basketball, where they lead 70-65. One not so happy reading in the rugby, as they are trailing 26-21 to Hartbury. But another score to bring you in the football. Cardiff Met are leading 1-0. So many results in play that could decide the destination of Varsity 2025, as Met with a good carry off that scrum.
Oh,
And still going forwards here. Through the forwards. Change at scrum half. And loose pass, but clung on. Just not needed. Met have just got to hold on to this ball. They've got to look after it better. They've got the pace. They've got the running. They just need to take better care of the ball, as Thomas Bradley, the latest to lose possession for Cardiff Met, but offside signalled by the referee. Met will escape with the penalty. Els Watkins back on at number 9 for Cardiff Met, and she will tap and go on the 22-metre line. Over on the left-hand side of the field, and the counter ruck coming in from Beth, but Watkins just about gets it out in time. Ball straight back to her, and immediately met by 2 Beth tacklers. Forces Vergottany to have to act at scrum half. Webster with a good carry, loses it, not able to be picked up cleanly by Beth, but surely they'll have the advantage from the knock-on. The referee not signalling it yet, so Nolan has to go for the run herself, and Webster in with the tackle now. Counter ruck from Met. Have they got hands on it? No. The referee calls them back for the penalty.
that fight for the ball is from both teams has absolutely been phenomenal. It's just turnover after turnover. You can see that Cardiff is so hungry for this ball. It's so competitive, honestly.
It is a game of such narrow margins, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Bath, yeah, they've taken their chances much better than Met. They deserve their lead. They deserve the tries that they have scored. But it's been such a good contest on the pitch.
I think it's been quite hard for Cardiff Met's forwards. They're just not really setting their pods. That one ball carrier is looking to get that extra pop, but no one's there. It just seems their lack of structure is letting them down a little bit in the forwards.
And as time ticks away in this second half, Becca, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes warning to give you some time to think about your player of the match. I'm sure there'll be no bias in your decision, but given the scoreline, I think we'll all understand if it goes to a Bath player. But a couple of minutes for you to have a think about it as the kick is put in by Barnes and cleared up well, and a lovely return that is going to stay in field, and Met need to be really careful here to clear this one up in time. Oh, great step back from Davis. She puts in the kick herself. The referee's got some work to do to make sure that the various players across the pitch are onside, and he's signalling advantage to Bath here. And they will get the penalty. Tap and go from Ratcliffe was too quick, and it was in fact behind the referee, so not able to take it on this occasion. And this is a yellow card being handed out to Fionn Llewellyn of Cardiff Met. So the decision there from the referee was that Bath had the opportunity to get much deeper into Met territory had the infringement not been made by Cardiff Met, and therefore that's why he's gone for the pocket. And Met will have to finish this game with just 14 women on the park. And with the way Bath have attacked, that is going to present a huge problem. At the moment, they do have a good number of defenders around Jess Doyle, but that is doing absolutely no problem. Initially, she gained a good probably 25 metres there before the penalty was eventually given to Cardiff Met. Thoughts on that penalty there, though, Becca?
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. I was focusing on Bath over there.
That kick does not go out. Bath will run it back at Cardiff Met as they look to extend their lead here, keeping the ball alive with a great offload game that the Fijians would be proud of. So we hear a distant vuvuzela from somewhere across campus sounding up Bath continue this assault in the Met 22, and they're doing well to look after the ball here. To Gizzing with a really powerful run, but she's going to be held up here. So it's going to be a goal line dropout to Met. Gizzing, how much power did she have there, Becca?
Oh, best bench warmer you can have, honestly. Coming from Millfield background, she knows what she's doing. It's unfortunate that she's had to have an injury through her Bath time, but only playing with her a couple of times, she's got so much potential in Bath Union. I can't wait to see what she does in this club.
Low, flat goal line dropout from Cardiff Met. Picked up by Bath, and they have the opportunity to attack that far right-hand corner. Just clung onto by Sasha Ward. Hands in from Met, but they're not able to turn the ball over at the ruck. Good offloads from Bath, and through the middle was going Georgie Barham. She's been a real star in the back line for Bath. Not able to get the try, but the pick and go is coming in from Gracie Reese-Gresti, and she will get the final try in this one. It is going to be a Bath win in the women's rugby. 3 years in a row that the away side is going to take the honours. And sorry, thank you for that correction, Becca. That was actually Shannon Jarrett. Few mixed up numbers in the kit here from both sides, making our jobs a little bit harder. But Becca, I'm very relieved to have you with me up here to be able to correct me on the Bath players.
Hey, every little helps.
Shannon Jarrett with the try, and the match may well wrap up here, Becca. So I'm going to ask you for your player of the match at this point.
This is tough. This is so tough. I'm going to give a few shout-outs, okay?
Yeah. Nolan gets the conversion.
So
17:36.
Rose, as a forward, has been absolutely phenomenal in attack. Maddie Gissing coming on as a bench warmer. Like, her fluidity in attack to get into that space. Her kick chase was absolutely brilliant. I would like... Oh, gosh. And Lily, oh, okay. Lily's attack has been great. Like, it's the best I've ever seen. Bath has been playing so well. Cardiff has been so unfortunate. It's just one more extra give. But my man of the match, I think, would go to Georgie Barham. Like, her attacking, exploiting that space. Her setting up the tries for Ellie Ratcliffe, and her sight into the play has just been absolutely great.
Well, I called the previous try as the last one that Bath will get in this. If they continue like this in overtime, they may well have another. And crucially, with the score at 17:36, Met has scored fewer than half the points that Bath have, and that would mean that they don't get that losing point in this one in terms of the overall Bucks table, which could be critical when it comes down to the final count across all the sports. In the basketball, men's basketball, Met are leading by 10 inside the final 2 minutes. The referee stops play here for an injury. In the Bucks Super Rugby semi-final, we are inside the final 10 minutes. Cardiff Met lead 31-26, looking for the double over Hartbury, and they are into the Hartbury 22 right now with momentum behind them. Still a 10-point lead in the men's basketball for Cardiff Met. Met won 1-0 in the varsity football. So results coming in from everywhere at the moment. This one, certainly a done deal. Bath have won this, so they can be really pleased. And I think, they've done it against the odds with you up here, Becca, rather than down on the pitch. But as you mentioned, Georgie Barham, she's had an incredible game and a well-deserved Player of the Match award from her. Hopefully she'll be buying you a pint later on to thank her for that. The The information I am being told right now is that if Cardiff Met win the men's basketball, where they currently lead by 8 points inside the final minute, they will win Varsity. Here, it is going to be another try for the University of Bath and another try for Jess Doyle under the sticks. A huge win. So just as Met dominated this fixture in Bath last year, so Bath dominate it here at Rugby 1 at King Coyd campus. 25 seconds to go in the men's basketball. Met leading by 8 points. This could be the result that decides Varsity 2025. An incredible day of sport. 15 sports across campus here at King Coyd. Rugby, football, tennis, squash, badminton, athletics. The women's rugby finishes. Cardiff Met 17, Bath 43. Becca, final word from you on Bath's performance in this match.
Oh gosh, I don't know what to say. I'm absolutely speechless. I think this is the best I've ever seen Bath play within this year. No joke about that. Like the teamwork that they're working together between the links of the forwards, of the backs, the fluidity, and how they can attack that space. Our defence, absolutely amazing. Like I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
Well, Grace, Becca, I'm not going to keep you up here any longer. I'm going to let you get down and celebrate with your team. I have to get to Archers Arena. If you are watching on this stream, switch over to the main one to see the awarding of Varsity 2025. It has come down to the wire. I won't spoil the result for you now. Thank you for joining us for the women's rugby that finished with a big win for the University of Bath.